follow me when the sky starts to change. Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
With anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling event of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by Animal We Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully, your Monday was filled with joy and wonder and awesomeness as we end up our. Sorry, everybody. It's been a long Monday. I'm not going to lie. It's been a long work day. And after a long work day, I expect, maybe to get home and watch some good wrestling and listen to some good promos and all that. And you know what? There was some of that tonight. There was some bullshit going on tonight. We're going to talk about all of that, including the bullshit. In fact, we might even start with some of that stuff because, this ain't no Stranger Things stuff. Nah, this is Raw on Netflix. That's the kind of BS we have to deal with tonight. So hopefully everybody's doing all right there. Welcome, as always, to our returning listeners, our returning viewers. It's always good to see you guys here. Again, I know the English language. I tried to say glad instead of good. That's not how structures of sentences work. But well, that's neither here nor there. Just love to see you guys coming back to listen to us. But if you're new around these parts, you're wondering just who we are. Well, again, we call ourselves the Weebs of the Ring, but we also have individual names. Unfortunately, our legend Vash is not here tonight. The Rock ended up taking up his time, wanting him to kind of get him ready for, I think he's nominated for an Emmy now for his role in the latest movie he was in. So good on you for that. But The Rock needed Vash's attention. Vash is not here, but you have your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world, Watkins, right here. I'm going to be your guide through all of the wrestling events that happened tonight. And of course, as always, people, we have the genius of the mat himself here to help us process some of these stories that happened tonight, some of these seeds being planted throughout Monday Night Raw. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Drop This Box. Drop, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, and really wasn't feeling this Raw when it comes to certain parts. Like, there was some parts of this I enjoyed, so this isn't going to be like a complete shit show when it comes to the things that me and Watkins are going to be talking about today. But I do have a few words when it comes to our opening segment, and obviously, with that in mind, I am going to start off with a rant, and just to give you guys a heads up, this might be the hottest that you've ever seen me on this show, because sure, we had what happened towards the end, but I didn't feel it at all whatsoever because the anger just consumed me more, so I kind of just brushed it off. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, because it's just the way that these structure these shows, I just can't get behind how they orchestrate certain things because it's always the same layout. It's nothing ever different. So we'll definitely dive into that for sure. That's why I'm glad we're gonna open up with that once we get there, because it just gives me the rest of the show to just cool down and relax and everything. But I definitely need to get out some stuff.
Oh yeah, and it's understandable too, because like we were talking a little bit in our Discord as Raw was going on. Which, by the way, if you guys want to join that Discord, the link is in the description below. But yeah, there were, because like I kind of felt your anger. I feel you with all that. I'm not as angry. Am I upset? Yeah, because we could have gotten to this spot way differently if things played out differently in terms of booking, storytelling, all that stuff. But I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll rant about it and all that stuff. Just make sure you guys like the stream as always. Because every like gives our pups a treat. They're all good pups, and they all deserve wonderful treats Sydney right now is sleeping, so she didn't hear me say treat for the fourth time right there. So
There
she
you
won't
go.
be waking up anytime soon. But maybe after this rant from Drop, she'll wake up and be like, Daddy, are you okay? Is everything all right over there? It's just like, yes, girl, it's fine.
Yeah.
Wrestling was just a little bullshitting tonight, but we'll talk about that later on. But as always, people, like the stream, subscribe, so that way you can get notified every time we go live after these shows. We got a busy week ahead of us, not just in terms of content, but we will be doing some different coverage when it comes to Saturday night's main event. But stay tuned for all of that, and of course our end of the year shenanigans that we'll be doing next week. But that's all next week stuff. That's all future stuff. Let's talk about tonight. Let's talk about basically what our headline story is, the Vision tonight, because CM Punk's not here. We got to have somebody to push on this feud that we're doing with the Vision and CM Punk. And luckily, Braun Breaker cuts a good promo, but we'll talk about Braun's promo later on. LA Knight, though, he gets put into this Vision vortex again. Why? Because Logan Paul's here. He's trying to pull some shit with Rey Mysterio because, Rey Mysterio slapped you last week. We can't just schedule a match with them. We have to have a random match with Rey and Finn for what reason? What reason whatsoever? Why was that even booked? Why was that even going to be a thing? Well, it's not a thing because Logan Paul just comes out, beats him up with some brass knucks. The mask guy shows up a couple times tonight to stomp Rey Mysterio and LA Knight, but cool, neat, whatever. LA Knight comes out for the save to help Rey Mysterio so that way he's not beaten down too much, challenges Logan to a match, and that's our main event. Not gonna lie, folks, was not too locked into the main event match itself because kind of knew what was going to end up happening with the Vision coming out, either costing LA Knight the match or doing the DQ. And of course, they cost them the match. Logan Paul gets another W. They absolutely destroy LA Knight after that with two tsunamis to kind of capitalize on that. But no, we're not done yet with that. We're going to start this Vision talk with this beatdown just so we can get it out of the way. Because like as we go to commercial break and after we come back, Braun cuts a very great promo. Again, we'll talk about that here in a minute. But then the Vision go to the back because the camera guy just happens to turn on the camera right in front of LA Knight, who's like, yeah, I can still walk, whatever, cool, neat. Bronson Reed, Logan Paul go out there to finish the job. And boy, howdy, do they finish the job by putting LA Knight through a table and then a tsunami through a car. I say through a car, but it was just on top of the car. So it wasn't that Braun Strowman one that we got, which I kind of wish we did get, but okay, fine, cool, whatever. But there's the table just kind of set right there. Not much to say about the match itself. This is all going to be about like what are we doing with LA Knight? Because like, why are we bringing him back into the Vision vortex when we just took him out of that because of the War Games build? Like, why take him out of the War Games build if we're just going to throw him back into the Vision? That part just doesn't make sense, and that's where my gripes come from. Is it's like, okay, we could have gotten this way if we kept LA Knight against the Vision, if we kept him with like the War Game stuff, fine, cool. We're still building up for that. Fine. And it like this is like the heated point, the tipping point for the Vision to be like, okay, you know what, Knight, you've been on our ass for like months now. We're done with you. Like, I would have been more fine with this segment tonight if that was the case. But no, we're gonna take LA Knight out of that War Games match. We're going to keep him away from the Vision so we can focus on the tournament, which, you've already pissed people off with the tournament and those finals. Let's go ahead and piss them off even more. But I feel like we'll talk as we go on through everything. But Drop, I do want to hear from you. I want to hear your rant. I want to hear your thoughts on everything, how you're perceiving it all. Go ahead and talk to us.
Yeah, so I just want to get the rant out of the way first because it's like I said earlier in the show, as long as I get this out of the way first, I'm going to be smooth sailing for the rest of the coverage for this episode of Monday Night Raw. But the thing that really frustrates me the most is I don't understand why we keep doing all of these things with LA Knight every single time. it's like you have some sort of plan with him, and then all of a sudden you have him get beaten up all the time like he's a bitch or some kind of stuff. Like, I don't really understand, like, why things are structured this way. And I don't want to hear things where it's like, oh, okay, you know, the Vision are supposed to look dominant. Obviously, when you have people like Bronson Reed going up against him, I can understand that maybe LA Knight's going to have some difficulty keeping that man down. But it's like, when you look at, you know, how they've been put LA Knight in a lot of these situations, and this isn't the first time that we've seen this happen. This happens quite a bit with him, where it's like he's on a rise, but then he drops. He's on a rise, but then he drops. It's almost like that ride when you're at the amusement park where, like, you go up in the air and then it slams down. That's pretty much how LA Knight's booking is. It's like, we got a plan for him, nah, fuck it. We got a plan for him, nah, fuck it. We got a plan for him, now, fuck it. And then you just do like Ricochet shit tonight, where you just have him get his ass beaten up, similar to what Braun Breaker did to him before he headed off to AEW. And then you just have LA Knight like getting taken out for what? Like, what is the whole message behind this? Like, I can understand you want to fuck over the guy and screw him over the match, whatever. Even though I'm not that really big a fan, like Watkins said, like how like play by play like these endings are for Raw. Like, what was the whole point? It's like, oh, I got to keep getting up. I got to do this. I got to do that. And then you have him getting beaten up. I thought maybe by chance there was going to be someone helping him. That didn't happen. He just ended up getting his ass beaten to him. But I want to know, what is the message behind this? Like, what is this whole thing with LA Knight supposed to represent? Is this supposed to be something coming in the future where, hey, maybe there's some good things in store for LA Knight? Or are we just not knowing what we're doing with him because this is what this company does sometimes, and they just beat the absolute shit out of somebody, and then they just have him off TV for a good 2 to 3 to 4 months because they don't know the difference between a fucking pen and a marker or a crayon. Like, I don't understand, like, why we are structuring things this way. A lot of people see a lot of things in LA Knight when it comes to promos, when it comes to wrestling. And it doesn't have to be like crazy wrestling matches, but he has what he needs to be put into matches that are entertaining. He has all the qualities as a main eventer. I don't understand, what is the structure here? I want you to gain some sympathy for him. You see him getting beaten up. I want you to gain some sympathy for him. What kind of fucking sympathy am I getting from this? Like, this is just lazy. It just tells me that you don't know how to write for shit when it comes to this creative. Like, it's just really pathetic that we're going to levels like this to do what? And I can't give you the benefit of the doubt because you do this with every fucking person on your goddamn show. Like, actually learn how to structure things properly. When it calls for it, do it. But LA Knight gets treated like a fucking bitch every time on this goddamn fucking show. And I am tired of it. I don't want to hear the excuse online, oh, it's just wrestling, who gives a shit? When you're passionate about something, as I am, because me and Watkins and Vash, if he was here, we all love wrestling. And this isn't just wrestling. This comes from movies that we consume, or video games, or books. And when we're so invested in a story or a character, and then that character arc, like, just dives down south, and it's just smelly, you don't like it, you're obviously going to be frustrated with it. So it's like, I mimicked earlier, what's the bigger picture? But at the same time, I can't really give him that excuse because I can't really trust you. I don't have faith in what you're doing. And that's unfortunate because it's like, you can make Braun Breaker look good, which is great. He's supposed to look good, and I'm glad he's getting put in the position that he's in. But when you don't have a plan for somebody, you're just like a dog trying to wipe its ass on a carpet because you don't know what else you want to do with the next move for LA Knight. And this is the one thing that I was worried about when it came to this tournament. Like, I knew jumping in, this was Gunther's tournament to win. Maybe LA Knight would have been cool to be a winner. Sure. But my biggest fear out of anything, and I do recall we did talk about this on SmackDown, is what is the next move for LA Knight? That was actually a short that I actually put up from our show talking about the creative direction of LA Knight. What is next for him? We know what's next for Gunther. That's perfectly fine, whatever's going on with that. But what's next for LA Knight? And it's like what Watkins says. It's like, you could have done this a different way, but now you have him with the Vision again. What is this supposed to accomplish? Like, what is the big message behind all of this? Like, I don't know. I don't really know anymore. And it's unfortunate because it's like you have a lot of people that really give a crap about this guy, but then you just have a bunch of twists and turns and you just don't know what to believe in anymore. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't want to waste my time coming on this show. And I love coming on this show, but I don't want to waste my time coming on this show wishing for something from one of my favorite guys and then it never happens. Like, I don't understand. Like, LA Knight isn't a guy that I look at that needs some sort of sympathy or some story like Cody where he needs to go through adversity. I don't see that in LA Knight. I don't see him as the type of guy that really needs to go through any adversity. And if this is some sort of adversity angle where he needs to overcome the odds or something, I mean, we've done this so many times to so many people. Not everybody needs that. They even did that with Gunther, which I understand in some aspects people like it humanized him a little bit. But at the same time, Gunther never striked me as a person that needed that because of who Gunther is. And you clearly see that, and we'll get into him a little bit later. But it's like, what's going on with LA Knight here? That's my biggest problem, and I can't even ask that question because I'm not gonna expect an answer from this company because they don't know what the fuck they're doing, if anything, anymore.
Yeah,
that's all I had to say.
And oh no, and you brought up a lot of good points because like what they're trying to do is what it's very funny how they're doing because again it's all about, for me it's always about execution. So like their plan is to get so much heat on the Vision. I get that, I understand that. Did we have to use LA Knight as that sacrificial pawn? That's where the problems come, at least some of the problems come from, because again you could have had LA Knight be part of like the War Games team. You know, you still had Jay part of the Last Time Is Now tournament and still do War Games. Why couldn't you do that with LA Knight too? Just a thought right there. You know, you could have still told the story, you still, but what they ended up doing with War Games was sacrificing that for building to WrestleMania. That's what they did with War Games. That's why they took LA Knight away from all of that. Okay. All right. If that's your vision, cool, neat. I don't really see it that way, but I don't know. That part's frustrating. And it's like you could have almost gotten the same reaction from fans or like almost garnered the same heat. And you can disagree with me if you want to. You could have gotten the same amount of heat if you replace LA Knight with Rey Mysterio tonight, because Rey Mysterio is a beloved face, somebody that like he'll never turn heel, you know, I mean at least in WWE, you know, unless they want to do a retirement tour where he turns heel and then, you know, John Cena 2.0 right there. But like we could have gone so many different routes to make this at least palatable. If you were really going to use LA Knight for the sacrificial pawn, you could have really built that way differently. You know, again, you could have built it to a point where it's like, because LA Knight, like Drop said, he doesn't need the sympathy. He already has the crowd in the palm of his hand. He's had the crowd in the palm of his hand for the better part of 2 to 3 years. Like, he doesn't need the sympathy. What he needs is the wins. What he needs is to look like a guy that's pissed off enough that he's going to take it to the Vision, which he does. It's unfortunate that nobody else has his back for God knows whatever reason. I mean, I thought him and Jimmy were cool, but I get, you know, the Usos are focusing on the tag team division. All right, fine, whatever. But like, and again, like what Drop said, it's just like this was the fear after the tournament, because like at least with the Gunther stuff, I could be like, you know what, I'm fine with this, and I said it Friday too. It's just like I'm fine with this because I could see the angle with Gunther and John. It to me, it made a little bit more sense to go with Gunther, but again, where do we go with LA Knight with this? We could have done so many other different things instead of bringing him, not only bringing them back to the Vision, but doing what you did tonight. And I'm hoping, and again, this could be copium and all that stuff that you want to say. I'm hoping there's like some sort of story that comes out tomorrow on why they wrote off LA Knight like this. Like maybe there's some injury going on, or maybe he needed to take some time away. If that's the case, then you know what? Retroactively, fine, but you still kind of get into that like they kind of booked themselves into a corner with this, because it's like, what do you do with LA Knight then? Like, where do you go? Like, if that was the case that he was gonna need some time off, could have just given him some time off. You know, have him just like recharge, refocus after losing the tournament. Like, you could have spun a story like that, been like, you know, I need to step away, just kind of refocus myself because I've
Mm-hmm.
been so worried about the vision, about other people, and not focused on me and winning titles and winning matches, winning championships, like all that stuff. But instead, you're doing the injury angle with him. So I don't know. Maybe some sort of news story will come out tomorrow that might help this. But I kind of like with you. There's a part of me that just like I'm somewhat losing a little bit of faith in some things with WWE. You know, because it's just like, what are we doing with some of these guys? Like, again, LA Knight is a made man. He's got everything. He's a good worker, a safe worker, mind you, somebody who like will sell a shitload of merch, which we know is one thing you guys love to do and
Mm-hmm.
love to get behind is merch sellers.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those guys that can do that, but you continuously put him in just these mud holes that he just can barely get out of because you won't capitalize on him. And if the moment comes that he leaves the company and he goes somewhere else, you lost the one of the biggest opportunities you had to have a new star to really hit on the nostalgia of the Attitude Era that everybody wants to be like, oh, I wish it was more like the Attitude Era. You literally have a guy that's the mix of Stone Cold and The Rock on your roster right there. You have the epitome of what the Attitude Era could be in this new era. This new era, you know, whatever. But like, it is frustrating. So I feel the frustration, you know, and it's like, even with the idea of like, oh, we're trying to get Omega Heat for the Vision again. There's other options we could have gone down, you know, like there's way different ways we could have done this. And yeah, I feel the frustration and I get the frustration. And it's like, it's something I'm not fighting against because it's just like, you know, yeah, go ahead. Like with the Gunther thing, I would fight back with that, you know, which I did. But like with this, I'm just like, come on, guys, come on. Can we do something? Can't we be better? Can't we write better? But you know, that involves actually having writers that give a shit about wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, aren't just TV writers and all that. Yeah, it's just like, where does he go from here? Like, it's hard to pinpoint, you know,
Yeah.
because again, he doesn't need the sympathy. The fans are already behind him.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
saying. It's like there's certain
yeah,
people that can play that role, like a Rey Mysterio, like a John Cena, like a Cody Rhodes. You can get that sort of sympathy angle with those kind of guys. But when it comes to somebody like a Gunther, I don't see that. When it comes to
yeah.
somebody like an LA Knight, just because of who he is personality wise, like how he's just upfront about everything, he can be an asshole towards certain people. I don't really
Yeah.
see that he needs some sort of sympathy card. You can get that from somebody like Jey Uso. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. You want to play that with that guy. Roman, I mean, at this stage, he doesn't even need that anymore just because of who he is as a person. Maybe old Roman, but new Roman,
Mhm.
definitely not. You don't need any sympathy card for that. But it's like the way that they're like structuring things now, it's like it's just really hard to tell because it's like
Yeah.
the way that they did this angle like towards the end of the show, like I don't know if there was like a bigger message here. I don't know if it's because there isn't any plans for him. They're trying to make the Vision look
Mhm.
dominant, which again, like you said, they could have done that in numerous ways, or there's something that we don't know about, like
Yeah.
possibly his contract status. Did he sign with the company again? Like we don't really know
Mhm.
what's going on. Like as far as
Yeah.
I know, when it comes to the information I've seen, and I could be 100% wrong, maybe there is something out there, but we don't see everything online. Because sometimes I hear from things from you or Vash, or if I find it myself, and then we just share it around each other, or we happen to have somebody comment and chat and tell us we don't really know everything that happens.
Yeah.
So I do believe, and I am pretty confident with what you said, that maybe tomorrow or something, because I'm pretty sure, like with Sean Ross Sapp doing his streamer now, probably talking about the show, there probably is a lot of people in that chat, I would assume, is probably
Mhm.
asking him the question about, like, oh, is there like anything going on with LA Knight, or is he just going on vacation and everything's fine? Like, obviously those questions
Yeah.
are going to be asked to the people that, report on news and everything surrounding that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I can definitely see like an X post like that being shown off tomorrow for sure. We would have to.
Yeah. And again, if it's a thing where he's just taking time off, I mean, again,
That's a
fine. It's just maybe we could maybe done the lead up a little better
yeah.
than this, because again, like it still just baffles me, man. Like,
That's a
why
crazy
would they
angle.
take like the and this was a complaint I was seeing so much of on the timeline. It's like, why take LA Knight away from the War Games build when he's been feuding with the Vision for months on end? You just take him out just to what? Throw Roman in there, throw Cody in there, just to build for your WrestleMania match. Which, I mean, if dirt sheet rumors are to be believed, that match isn't even going to happen at WrestleMania. Apparently, it's not going to be at a WrestleMania. It's going to be at a different show. So it's like, then why even have that in the first place? Why even entertain that in the first place? Like, have somebody else in that spot, like LA Knight. Holy shit, there you go, right there. I don't know. They could have done so many different things and all that. In fact, I challenge you in the chat or the comments. Let us know, what would you have done differently if the end point was what happened tonight. What would you change to make it more palatable?
The only
Let me
other
know in the comments in the chat. There's your interaction for tonight or today or whenever you're listening or watching.
the only other thing I can think of, and I don't really think it makes sense for them to do this, is like, are they building towards a heel turn with him? Because I don't feel like this is the way to build to that. That seems like really shitty to
No.
write it into that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen
Well, it's
some
just like,
people
who
bring
would
that
he?
up because I was scrolling through X to see if they're what people were saying on there, and people like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe it's building to some sort of like heel angle or something. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that's not really a way to go
What?
towards that. Yeah, I was looking at
Yeah.
that, I was like, I don't think that's how you get to an heel angle, just getting your ass kicked and you come back and you're like, oh, nobody helped
Yeah.
me. It's like, come on, dude, bro.
Out of
Like,
out of all the seeds that were planted tonight for any heel turns, this was the LA
yeah,
Knight was not one of them. He was
definitely
not on the
not.
checklist of like, oh yeah, here's what could lead to your heel turn, getting your ass kicked by some badass heels. It's like, what? I mean, I okay, hold on. I guess they could always spin it to be like, oh, nobody helped me and blah blah blah, all that. But like, he could just easily use that as a baby face because I mean, in a way, he's kind of a tweener
Yeah, he
with
is.
well, at least he was for a bit,
Yeah.
but he's more full baby face right now. Just with a little bit of an edge. But again, that just gets to the whole conversation of like how baby faces are even written in 2025 because
Mm,
all of them are written stupid.
yeah.
Like it's almost like you lose your brain when you're a face.
Yeah, pretty
I,
much. I mean,
yeah,
you're not wrong.
yeah. I don't know, anything else you wanted to rant about with this. Because again, there was some good on this show, some some good things, some nice little seeds planted. But anything else that like kind of hits at you right now in your mind when it comes to like LA Knight and I guess him just being written off TV?
Outside that we talked about, I mean, I don't really have anything else. That's why I wanted to get it out of the way first, because that was like all the
Hmm.
frustration that was like really built
Yeah.
inside, because this is something that I kept inside of me for like a good couple months, because I didn't really want to, I didn't feel like I didn't feel like this was the time. Well, back then I didn't feel like it was the
Hmm.
time to really say it, but now after trying to give them the benefit of the doubt when it comes to seeing like how this show played out, when it comes to, okay, or on Monday Night Raw now. Like, who's he button heads with? And now I know the
Yeah.
answer. I was like, okay, I'll just let it loose now. But I don't really have anything else.
Yep.
Like, the only thing I really took out of this, in all honesty, is like Braun Breaker's promo. Like, that's honestly all I really
Yeah.
cared about. I didn't care about the match at all. I even told you that. Like, this match, as soon as I saw LA Knight's music come out when Logan Paul was beating up Rey Mysterio, I'm like, yeah, I'm not into this. I'm sorry. Like, sure, they had their moment
Yeah.
there at SummerSlam a couple years ago, and LA Knight won his first title in WWE when he took the U.S. title towards Logan Paul, which was a really good moment. I was super happy about that. But it's
Hmm.
like, outside of all that we saw in the past, I mean, I don't really care for this, and it started super early, and it, like, we even talked about this too. It's like the way they structured the end of the show, especially, it was like really weird structure. Like, you have
Yeah.
Paul Heyman get the mic, at least for me. It just cut to promo. I'm not promo. It just cut to the commercials right away, and then they ended up coming back, and
Hmm.
then I just, see all of this happen, and so that's all I really cared about. It was just Braun Breaker. I mean, that was the only
Yeah.
shooting star in this whole entire thing, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
because I mean he cuts another good promo. Just kind of running down CM Punk. I like how he mentions about CM Punk being straight edge, but he kind of looks like a crackhead right now.
Yeah.
Um, oh, what else did I write on here? I did refer to CM Punk as CM Flanders, so there's that a little caveat with that. Um, but no, he's basically goading CM Punk to be more vicious, trying to be more of like what he was back in the past and all that. Again, mentioning the straight edge stuff, and I do like how this definitely will get to Bunk. How he was just like, "Yeah, I will destroy you. I will brawn break you." That was kind of cheesy, but I liked it. But
Mm,
then he's just like, "Yeah, after all that, maybe I'll take your wife away too." And it's like, "Oh, okay. You push the AJ button. You don't push the AJ button when
no.
it comes to CM Punk."
Yeah.
Um,
Never
and I
mention a
guess he's
man's
trying to get
wife.
over this spear 1, 2, 3,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
it's very reminiscent of when Roman came back. It was like, what was it? It was, or I guess with Brock, it was like eat. Oh, what was it? It was like eat, defeat, repeat, or something. I forgot what it was.
I know what you're
But
talking about.
they're trying to get something like that over with Braun
Oh yeah,
Breaker.
they're
But
they're
yeah,
gonna make into a
another
shirt.
fantastic promo from him.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He pretty much laid the smackdown, and he told CM Punk how it was. And I mean, I can't really disagree with him. I mean, I love CM Punk. I love what he's been doing ever since he came back to WWE. But one thing I will say for sure is we need a little more aggression for him when it comes to
Hmm.
how edgy Punk was back then all those years ago. He doesn't have to be that person like 100% because obviously times has changed. So it's not going to be the same guy that we grew up and fell in love with. But obviously he's still going to have those characteristics deep inside him that maybe he shows off every once in a while. And I feel like if Braun Breaker gave him an opening, especially after mentioning his wife and everything else that he said tonight, at least that gives him the chance to at least, spit some venom towards them. I mean, hey, if somebody brought up my wife, I would be spitting some venom towards them back. I mean, I understand that was, kind of cheesy to bring up AJ, but at the same time, I mean, you just look at how it is, never mention a man's wife. So if he doesn't come back swinging, at least saying something towards Braun Breaker to really prep him up, because this is this is a pretty big deal when it comes to who he's going up against. This isn't like some random guy in the roster. This is CM Punk we're talking about, one of the biggest stars in professional wrestling. So if you really want to prep Braun Breaker up, have all these plans set out for him that you have in store when it comes to always talking about him main eventing all these multiple WrestleManias and all that. I mean, you got to really challenge him on the mic. Like, you want to test out his mic skills to the extreme. I mean, this is the best guy to do it. That this guy is going to put you to the test. I like that was actually one of
Hmm.
the things that they focused on LFG when CM Punk was actually part of that show, was promos. That's what he want. That's where they wanted him to help them in that department when it comes to bringing that aggression, showing how you are when you're in front of an audience, face to face with an opponent or whatever. So I'm really hoping he's able to bring more out of that out of Braun Breaker, because he needs to hit hard
Mhm.
now, and then Braun Breaker is going to have to think how he's going to respond back to that, because it's not
Yeah.
going to be something where he's just going to say a few words and we're going to just brush it off. Like he's going to fire back really freaking hard once he comes
Yeah, and
across Braun Breaker again. It's not going to be some. He's not going to lay him off easy. Like he's if they really want to take
nah.
Braun Breaker as like the next guy that they're going to be pushing, you need to be a little aggressive with him. You actually need to toughen him up a little bit, and actually, just take all the protection off. Take the protective vest
Mhm.
off, and just go ham. That you need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hopefully Punk's there next week to kind of, clap back at him, and hopefully they are able to have like a back and forth like in
Oh yeah,
person, because right now Braun's kind of carrying everything.
yeah.
But the shirt I was talking about, I was thinking about, it was the Brock Lesnar one where it was like eat, sleep, conquer, repeat,
Oh, okay,
after he had beaten the Undertaker.
yeah.
So I think they're trying to do the same thing with like this spear 1, 2, 3, which fine if that's gonna be the next T-shirt, but okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes throughout the next weeks, if it's going over or anything. Because yeah, when Braun was repeating that, it's just like, okay, you're trying to make this a thing. All right, cool, neat, whatever. But yeah, just another great promo for Braun Breaker. Just looking
Mm-hmm.
forward to the CM Punk clapback, and just seeing where we go leading into that first Raw of the new year. Because yeah, we'll be celebrating a year on Netflix too, which
Oh,
I think we'll have to have a nice little discussion about how this Netflix era of Raw has been,
oh,
because
definitely.
it's been an era. But from one good promo to another excellent promo, let's talk about how this night started as we enter our mid card stories. Or this is definitely going to be main eventing Saturday night's main event
Oh
when
yeah.
we get there on Saturday. If not, fine if we're going to open, but I wouldn't open with this, but
No.
that's besides the point. Gunther is out here to finally speak on John Cena, and by God, that I love supervillain Gunther. That's why I'm a Gunther fan here. But Gunther basically brings up this countdown of John Cena, basically not only his leading up to his last match, but he's using it as the downfall counter for John Cena, because he's going to destroy our hero. I like how he mentions that John is the greatest sports entertainer, but Gunther is the best wrestler alive. So we're telling that story, which is something I was hoping we would. So I'm happy to see that. And yeah, he's basically looking to do something that not many people have been able to do during John Cena's career, and that is to make him tap out or give up in this aspect. But not only just give up, but like break his spirit. Like again, Gunther uses his words very carefully. Like, I'm going to break you. I'm going to like dismantle you. Like all this stuff. Like that is just what Gunther is. That's what he does. He breaks you down to the point where it's just like, okay, yeah, I can't do this anymore. So it's going to be very interesting how he does that with Cena, because like we talked about on Friday, Cena's not that kind of guy. Like the only times he's tapped out, and thank you, internet, for fact checking a lot of this stuff, because like I guess the last times he did tap out was like back when he was a heel, when he was doing like the Doctor Thugonomics stuff. Because I think it was like a match with like Kurt Angle where he tapped out. And I think there were like two other ones. But the fact is, like, since he's been the face of the company, it's been never give up, never surrender, and all that stuff. And I think we had mentioned it too on the show. He's probably going to just end up passing out. So in a
Mm-hmm.
way, he won't give up. He'll just fight till the bitter end and all that. But we'll just have to see how that's played out on Saturday. But Drop, what do you think of this promo segment from Gunther? And did this make you feel a little bit more excited for Friday's big event,
So I
or
really like.
Saturday's?
So I really did like this promo segment that Gunther had towards Cena because it's like you said, like that's the mission right now to put John Cena out once and for all. And Gunther is the kind of character that I can see doing something like that because that's just how he is. He's like the ultimate final boss of this era. And if he's really going to progress even further in his career and make a mark, like hit some sort of milestone, because I believe he even mentioned this not that long ago when
Hmm.
him and Jay were building their feud, where he was like, I could have been going up against people like Roman or John Cena or CM Punk. I'm not necessarily sure if he mentioned John Cena, but if he did, then I think he did. I'm not 100% sure. But basically, like, him taking out John Cena in his final match, it's like wanting to have him surrender and tap out and everything. I can't see him tap out like we discussed because that's just not in the John Cena character. Because I was actually
Hmm.
talking about this with Vash yesterday when I was on my way home from work, where I was like, there's certain people that you can see tap out, and then there's certain people that will just, give up and pass out. Like, if I were to give a few
Yeah.
examples, like somebody like a Carmelo Hayes, I can see him tapping out. Somebody like a
Hmm.
Miz, I can see him tapping out. Or if I were to throw somebody else in there, like, let's say, like, I can't really think of anybody on the spot, so we'll just keep it at those two. But then when you look at
Hmm.
people like Cody Rhodes, I don't see him tapping out. He's more of a passing out guy. And then, same thing with Randy Orton. He's more of a passing out guy. And the way that they're going to be building up Braun Breaker, I would assume he would be one of those people that would be more of a passing out guy just because he has
Hmm.
all of that anger inside of him, and he's supposed to be like this ultimate badass. And if you're this ultimate badass, you're not going to be tapping out for shit.
Yeah.
So it's like there's certain people that fall in that category, and John Cena is one of those guys where it's like your Gunther is going to beat the absolute crap out of him, but he's not going to give up. And that's one of the interesting things about this match that I'm looking forward to when I get the chance to see it after I get home from work on Saturday is the fact that Gunther is going to pull all of these tricks out and he's going to think all the stuff that he normally does on people is going to work, but it's not. So it's
Hmm.
like the power bombs or the sleeper holds, whatever the case may be, it's not going to work because Cena's going to push himself to the next level. Like, this is going to be Super Cena that Cena himself is going to give Gunther. So Gunther is going to have to dig and dig and dig to find that kryptonite so he can eventually put Super Cena to rest. Because this isn't going to be regular John Cena. This is going to be Super Cena. Because if this is John
Hmm.
Cena's last match, he's going to go all out. And if you really want to bring the best out of somebody, I mean, that's kind of the way you got to go. Like, he's going to go all
Yeah.
out, kind of like how he did with Cody during SummerSlam, but maybe, 10 times more than that, considering that this is his last match. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Gunther's going to do because Gunther's going to get frustrated. He's going to think it's easy. He's going to think he has the advantage, but it's not going to be
Hmm.
that easy as he thinks. So something is going to happen in this match. It's going to set him off. But all in all, I do see him passing out. I would be
Yeah.
surprised, and I'll admit I'm wrong the next time we talk about everything around it. But I just see him passing out. I just don't see Cena like tapping out. I just don't see it. Like, you could still give up
Hmm.
by passing out. You don't really necessarily need to tap
Yeah.
because when it comes to being put in submission, it's either you pass out or you tap out. It's either one of those things, and then you get a winner off of that. So I see him pass out because that's what he typically does when he's put in submission holds and he loses matches, that he just passes out.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's gonna be an interesting puzzle for Gunther to solve because, like, yeah, it's not gonna come easy at all. And I don't think he's really going into this match, like at least in kayfabe, I don't think he's really going into it thinking it's going to be easy. But he is. I think there's a sick part of him that is kind of relishing the challenge of breaking John Cena because it's something for Gunther to prove to, like, okay, I made the man who said he would never give up. I made him give up. So it's just like how, like in his mind right now, in his maniacal way, how is he going to do that? Doing something that some people have not been able to do for the past 20 some odd years. Because again, like John's tapped out early part of his career. That was then. That was before the face of the company, the face that runs the place, or whatever he wanted to call himself at that point. Um, yeah, I'm just excited. I'm looking forward to it. This is exactly what I wanted from a promo segment from Gunther. Um, the only downside is John's not here to clap back, unfortunately. So
Mm,
I'm hoping maybe some sort of social media thing from him. That would be nice.
yeah, I agree.
Like utilize some of that, but I would just like something from John
Yeah,
before the match, even if it's something like on the pre-show of the night. But I mean, I doubt they're gonna do that because he didn't. Yeah, he rarely does any of that stuff either. So I
yeah.
don't know. We'll see. I'm at least still excited to watch it. It's gonna be a hell of a time. I know I won't shut up about it. It's just like it's gonna be a fun time on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm gonna try to get there early enough to where I can like hopefully get some footage and like try
Yeah.
to take some pictures, try to take some videos with whatever I can. Hopefully I can see some of you guys out there and all that. That'd be great. But it's just like it's gonna be it's gonna be a big event. It's gonna be very emotional too. I think there's gonna be a lot of people just in shambles that night.
Oh
So
yeah.
we'll see. I'm gonna keep a counter of how many kids I see cry, and then how
And,
many adult men I see cry.
yeah, and
So it's gonna be great.
you got a front row seat to that too. So you're gonna be one of those people.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Trust me, there's already one on the counter. I already know I'm going to be a hot blubbery mess. So again, I apologize for whoever I'm sitting around. That you're gonna have to sit near a 30-something-year-old bawling his eyes out because some dude is retiring from wrestling.
Dude,
Perish the thought.
that's
Uh,
that's that's the unfortunate thing about having to work until like 11:30 that night, because I won't be able to
hmm
experience it when it happens. Because I always like being there at the moment. Stranger Things is different because obviously I get to watch the finale in the movie theater, so
Yeah.
I'm willing to avoid social media for that night. But when it comes to like somebody like John Cena that I grew up watching ever since I was a little kid, like I really wish I was there in the moment, but I'm gonna try my best to just
hmm
watch that when I get home and just really take it in, because that's a lot of people's childhoods ending right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's part of the reason I got back into all this
Yeah.
because John Cena memes with with that prank phone call and all that,
Oh yeah, I
But
remember that.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, we could be here all night reminiscing about that. We'll spend some time reminiscing on John, his career, and everything,
Definitely.
and breaking down all of that. But we don't have enough time for that with John tonight.
Oh, I got
We have
an
to
idea.
talk about Raw. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to certain joints, right?
Oh my gosh.
I hope.
Oh, the joints be jointing tonight.
Yeah.
Hmm. And in case you didn't know what that transition meant, we're on our Judgment Day joints because they did a little something tonight. Nothing too big.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you count, Roxanne Perez actually getting a win. Yeah, that's big. That's something. But this
Mm.
does tie in to our lovely, beautiful women's world champion Stephanie Vaquer because she does have an in-ring promo segment with Jackie Redmond. Basically saying, hey, she's out here. I faced Nikki Bella, a legend, blah blah blah, but I'm here to fight everybody. I'm here to prove that I am at the top. And good thing too, she mentioned a few names. She mentioned Rhea, she mentioned Io. I'm very happy that she mentioned Natty because it seems like they're really building up Natty right now. Which we'll mention it's in our quickfire segments when it comes to Natty.
Mhm.
So I'm just glad she's getting a shout out in 2025 because she is somebody that's like very much underrated right now. But she does put in a lot of work for the women on the roster and all that. So just glad she got a shout out right there. But Stephanie obviously is going to get interrupted. She gets interrupted by Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, because I was expecting Raquel because of all the stuff that's going on with, not only Judgment Day. I had mentioned this in our group chat, and sorry folks, I wasn't here last week for the Raw talk, but I wanted to mention that Adam Pearce did promise Raquel another title shot because Nikki did get in the way of her previous one and she wanted another shot. And Adam Pearce was actually playing ball with her. He was like, yeah, you get your another shot. Cool. But unfortunately, Liv came back and she's trying to be the leader of the Judgment Day, which, okay, fine, cool, whatever. But yeah, so Nikki Bella comes out. I did not pay attention really much to her promo because it just sounded like bitching and moaning, but she just wants another shot at Stephanie. And I'm just sitting there thinking, girl, you lost clean. Get in the back of the line. You didn't even earn the first shot. You just beat up Stephanie
Mm-hmm.
and then did nothing besides be like, oh, I'm a heel, blah, blah, blah. But God, I about lost it when Raquel comes out. Well, while Nikki's on the apron, Raquel comes out, just knocks her off, and just yeets her into the corner turnbuckle, and Nikki just dies. She just dies right there at ringside. Raquel gets in the ring, basically calls her shot against Stephanie. I don't know when we're getting the match, but we're getting it soon. But before we move on with the rest of the Judgment Day, how'd you feel about this spot? Are you upset that Nikki Bella won't be getting her rematch anytime soon?
Unfortunately, I was really looking forward to seeing that rematch between her and
I'm
Stephanie
sure you
Vaquer.
were.
Yeah, like because I didn't like go inside of our Discord chat and just like type a gif of like some random guy throwing something because I synced that as soon as it happened. I synced it in, and I was like, oh my god, are we really getting this again? Like I don't know why I wasn't expecting it to happen because I literally thought that it was just going to be like Liv Morgan coming out because that's what I thought it was hinting at
Mhm.
last week. Considering like, okay, you and Roxanne and focus on the tag titles, how that segment ended, and then I'll do what I need to do next, which obviously we'll get into that a little bit later. But I'm okay with this because again, it was already mentioned on the show that Raquel was going to get her opportunity towards the title. So obviously, if you're already building to it, then give us the execution and show us the next building blocks in order for us to
Mhm.
get there. So this is probably going to be I can't necessarily call it a feud. I feel like it's more than likely just going to be a match.
Yeah.
And yeah, we don't really know when it's going to take place, but I am glad at the very least because Raquel has actually, been I have actually enjoyed Raquel this year when it comes to
Mhm.
what she's been doing. So I'm curious to see, what sort of plans they have with her. I don't think this is the bigger story when it comes to the title because
Right.
obviously there's a bigger story going on in the Judgment Day between her and Liv Morgan more than this title, but I don't know. I'm very curious to see if there's going to be some sort of shenanigans happening with this. Like, is this just going to be a thing where she goes in there and she has a match with Stephanie Vaquer, or is Liv going
Mhm.
to hypothetically be out there and maybe tension brews between them or whatever? Like, we don't know
Yeah.
until we really get there.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the tension is gonna come from the backstage segments.
Probably. We
Like
did see it, yeah.
I feel oh yeah. Because I mean we got a little bit of the tease tonight with Liv basically trying to act like the leader and Raquel even kind of calling her out on it, being like, "Oh, I didn't know we had to talk to you about things like this." Again, Judgment Day doesn't have leaders, but when Liv's around, everybody wins. So there's that. But yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you too. I think this is going to be more of the bigger picture with like the Liv versus
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer feud. I think this is going to be mainly the placeholder for when we get the Liv versus Raquel feud.
Yeah.
When Liv and Dom end up breaking away from the Judgment Day. So yeah, and it kind of sucks that Raquel is going to have to not get a women's title. Like a single women's title on the main roster again. But again, story kind of necessitates that. And I mean, as much as people might hate what I'm about to say, because I kind of hate thinking it and saying it too. I mean, Liv could take the title from Stephanie, and your feud between Liv and Raquel's for the title. That's a good way to crown Raquel on the main roster. I mean, I don't want this. I don't want Stephanie to lose that title to Liv. You know, that's
Mm-mm.
maybe we could do that with the mid card title, like the women's IC title, or move them to SmackDown and do something more with the US title. That's almost dead in the water right now. Um, yeah, so I like what we're doing. I like the setting that we're placing right now. When it comes to like the continued tension with the Judgment Day, because yeah, now it's seeping into the Liv and Raquel part of everything. Because like yeah, it started with like Finn and Liv, and a little bit with JD, but mainly Finn and Liv. But
Yeah.
now it's seeping into everybody else because like Raquel can really pull out cards like, oh well, I did my best to keep everybody afloat with the Judgment Day. I basically kept people from wanting to hurt each other and all that. And for a time, they were on top again. They
Yeah.
had the titles for a bit,
Mm-hmm.
but then you lose them, and that's just kind of what happens. But now that Raquel is going for the women's title, Liv decides, hey, I'm going to help you out, Roxanne. We'll handle the women's tag titles, right? Let's go out there. I'll be out there right by your side as you take on Lyra Valkyria. And not gonna lie, like as much as we've seen this match, like on Monday Night Raw, I really like this one. I think these two definitely have some really good in-ring chemistry, a lot of good counters for their moves. Um yeah, I just thought this was really good. The story mainly with this match being that Roxanne was targeting Lyra's arm and shoulder and all that, which kind of takes away a lot of Lyra's offense, especially trying to hit that Nightwing and all that. But yeah, so the match keeps going on. Liv does try to interfere, but Bailey's there to kind of interfere and all that. And I like the finish of this too, because like you get a series of roll ups and all that. But when Roxanne pushes Lyra away, she pushes her towards a downed Liv on the apron, and Liv just simply just puts her boot up. And it's just one of those little slight things that really mean a lot to me when it comes to wrestling, just little things like that. So yeah, Lyra runs into the boot, she gets rolled up, 1 2 3, eats the loss after pop rocks, obviously. Yeah, again, I thought this was a really good match. I don't know what they're going to be doing with like building up with the Judgment Day towards the tag titles, because that scene seems pretty, yeah, it's pretty stacked right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to be doing with the women's tag titles, and I don't know where Bailey and Lyra fit into all this, because I guess
Mm.
we're just not really doing much of the Bailey split personality thing. Which,
Seems like
if
they
I'm
just
being
moved on
honest,
from it.
yeah, I'm kind of glad they're kind of going away from it. It was not good
No,
at all.
I didn't
So
care about it either.
yeah.
Yeah. s- So like I'll admit, like earlier today when I saw that this match was a thing, I did feel
Mhm.
indifferent about it. Not necessarily saying that the people involved I didn't want to see, because they're both really good wrestlers, especially when it comes to Lyra. Like I just love seeing her in the ring. Like she has a really good she's a technical wrestler, and I just really like
Yeah.
seeing like how she works around the ring when it comes to certain people that she's working with. And like commentary said, her and Roxanne have had a feud in NXT, which I mean, truth be told, Roxanne was the one to take the title off of Lyra when they had their match at Stand and Deliver.
Mhm.
And I mean, they know each other pretty well at this point, since they've been around each other for quite some time. They're pretty much cut from the same cloth. So I can't really say that having them together is necessarily a bad thing, but I was just hoping, before obviously I saw how everything turned out, that they would do something. And when it comes to the match itself, I mean, yeah, like you said, the match was great and everything. I had a fun time. I'm just really wondering like how they're gonna structure this whole thing. Like obviously the Bailey
Mhm.
thing isn't really that important anymore. It seems like they just silently moved on from that. And then we have all these other people gutting for the women's tag titles, which awesome. You're making the women's tag titles feel important, but at the same time, I mean, why do we need all these people involved here? I feel like I can't necessarily say like it's an issue. It is like a little nitpick I
Mhm.
have where it's like the way that the story was structured, it was kind of like an Io and Rhea thing against the Kabuki Warriors. And then also I'll throw in Charlotte and Alexa because of the unfinished business that they have with them. So it was mainly revolved around like those three groups of ladies. So the
Yeah.
other people getting involved was just like a little weird to me. I just didn't really understand it. I kind of felt like, oh, if they wanted to do like a triple threat match or something, they could do that with the ladies and then get things done that way. And then either they give the titles to somebody else or the Kabuki Warriors keep it. But I said this to Vash when we talked about it, and I believe you're around when I said this as well.
Mhm.
I don't want this to be one of those matches where you have like a whole bunch of teams surrounding the ring and then you got two people in there and they keep going back and forth. It's either going to be a tornado tag match that you do or you add some sort of stipulation. I mean, you have all of these ladies involved right here. Just make it like a TLC match of all the ladies with the tag
Yeah.
titles on the line. Just do something like that because this match calls for a stipulation, especially when you have all these people involved. Because
Mhm.
you have Lyra and Bailey involved, you got Charlotte and Alexa, you got Rhea and Io, you got the Kabuki Warriors, you got Lash Legend and Nia Jax. Not you also got the Judgment Day now when it comes to Liv Morgan and Roxanne. So it's like that's like a total of 16 involved, gutting for that
Yeah.
title outside of the champions, of course. So it's like you can't just do like a typical tag match. You got them all swarming around the ring and then just having them go at it like one by one, and then one tags the other, and then one tags. Like, you got to make it some sort of stipulation. Like I don't know if this is something they're saving for the first Monday Night Raw of 2026 on that show, where they're gonna make like some sort of match, like I said. Because in all honesty, they have to do it. Like if we get like a regular tag match of all those ladies there, like I don't know, it would just feel really off to me. There's way too many teams involved right here.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like the only other
Yeah,
thing I can
that's just
think
the
of,
issue. Yeah.
the only other thing I can honestly think of outside that TLC tornado tag style match that I mentioned is possibly have a gauntlet and you have the Kabuki Warriors obviously in
Ooh.
there from the beginning, and then you have the other set of teams coming out afterwards. You just basically the whole message of this story is you got to have a stipulation, not a regular match.
Yeah. Ah, man, I don't remember the last time we got a gauntlet match.
Have they
That's a good shout. I don't
have they
remember the
ever
last time
done
we did.
have they ever done a tag team gauntlet match before? Actually, no, they have, right? Oh yeah, they have. Oh
It's
yeah, they have.
yeah. Yeah, it's been a hot minute though. Like I when was the last Actually, yeah, it was like a year ago, I guess, or it was the last time the Creeds were on TV
Oh,
because they
okay.
won one. So it's like that was pretty much either a year ago or maybe earlier this year. So yeah, it felt like a year ago at that point, you know. Um, but yeah, no, it's been a hot minute since we've had a gauntlet match. So yeah, that's not a bad shout to have
Mhm.
something like that. That'd be cool. At least to if not with all the women for the titles, at least to get the number one contender, you
Yeah.
know, because at least it'll like thin out the herd a little bit and get us engaged with like, okay, here's who's going after the titles. And then maybe like with these other mini feuds going on, so like this Lyra Bailey versus Liv and Roxanne feud. They can continue that. We can have Charlotte and Alexa with Nia and Lash Legend. They can continue that. You know, just again, many different avenues that can go down. So yeah, I want them to be just a little bit more focused, but I do like how they are at least attempting to make the women's tag titles mean something because
Mhm.
that's all we want. We want these titles to mean something. We don't want them to feel like they're props just to be used for some BS feud that nobody really wants or cares about or can predict coming from a mile away. So
Yeah.
yeah. But we're gonna stick now to we're gonna stick with the women's tag division because we did get just a little bit more with some of the teams tonight. So we had Io Sky taking on Kairi Sane, and I feel horrible because I love watching these two women wrestle, but I was distracted by other things at the time, so I couldn't really fully lock in, unfortunately. But the stuff I was seeing was really good because, like, these are just two Joshi pros going at it in a WWE ring, obviously. So you're not going to get your full Joshi style, but you're getting your taste, and these two really know what they're doing. Like, there was one point of the match where Kyrie went for a kick, Io ducked, went behind her, and like kind of kicked her knee, like behind, like the back of her knee to kind of get her down. And I don't know, just the way they were blocked for that spot, and for most of the match too, it really did feel like two warriors going at it. So I was pleasantly happy with what I was seeing when I was seeing it. But like some of the stuff I was able to sit there and see, like some of the apron offense. So like Kyrie trying to drop Io on her head, but Io countering into like the bridge German suplex. Picture perfect from her. Like
Oh yeah.
just a nice little callback to when she like had that bridge on that apron. I think it was a match with Rhea she did that, but just a great spot. But of course, with Asuka being out there and with Rhea being out there, Asuka's gonna try to interfere, which she does. She tries to interfere, tries to stop Io from hitting the moonsault. Rhea's there to just be a good bodyguard, and Io is able to pick up the win. So, unfortunately, our tag champions eat another loss from like War Games and now tonight. And the lead up to War Games when Charlotte beat Asuka clean. Um, yeah, all in all, though, I thought this was a good match. Just kind of continuing the feud forward. I'm assuming this kind of puts them in the spot to take on the Kabuki Warriors. But again, Charlotte and Alexa are right there. They also kind of have a say in all this. Yeah, good match though, from what I could see. But what about you, Drop? What did you think of everything that happened tonight?
So this was a good match between the both of them, and I always look forward to seeing both of them in the ring, especially Io, which hopefully around this Christmas I get that new Io Sky shirt because it looks super awesome. But it's
Hmm.
like I am hoping and praying, like after all this is over and done with, like I said before, they do a little bit more of Kairi Sane outside of what she's doing now, because I feel like out of all the Joshies, including Julia as well, when I mention this right now, they're very underutilized. I'm not Oscar or Io, but I'm mainly talking about like Kairi
Hmm.
Sane and Julia. We'll talk about Julia on SmackDown, but
Hmm.
when it comes to Kairi Sane, I mean, I remember when she had that match with Rhea, like she really went the extra mile there. Rhea
Yeah.
really helped her look good in that match when it came to both of them going head to head. And I kind of feel like, she shines the best when she's going up against like two super tough women like Rhea
Hmm.
Ripley, because she was like showing things that I haven't seen Kairi Sane do on television in years, at least when it comes to the WWE. So I'm hoping we
Yeah.
have some sort of plans for her in the near future. I mean, in all honesty, like I know she's a heel right now, but she does not. She's not a heel. She's not a natural heel at all
No.
whatsoever. She's a natural baby face, because you see a lot of clips online all the time of her interacting with the fans that I see people post where she's
Hmm.
like hypothetically, whenever we see a commercial and let's say her and Oscar just hanging out ringside, she's going up to fans, shaking their hands, hugging them, whatever the case may be. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm hoping they have some sort of plans for her. I mean, the IC title is right there. Obviously, there's all the people that come to mind first before Kyrie, but I'm hoping she gets her light soon. And in all honesty,
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that these matches like lead up to something outside of just gaining a little momentum by going up against the competitors that are involved in this women's tag match. Like, I don't know if it's just, I don't know, we're just getting a couple reps in, like Roxanne
Hmm.
did tonight as well when she beat Lyra. Like, I'm really hoping there's like some sort of like deeper meaning behind like all of
Yeah.
this. It doesn't have to be super deep, but I'm hoping there's like there's something going on with this. I just want to know what the obviously we'll know what the end goal is when we get there, but I want to know exactly like how this whole thing is going to be structured moving ahead when it comes to these tag titles officially being on the line, because that's where I'm confused because I don't really know where we're going.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think my only hope with all this, and this mainly goes to the Kabuki Warriors side of things.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the same boat as you with Kyrie. I hope they are able to build her up a little bit and actually pull a trigger on her because yeah, she's really damn good, and hopefully this heel turn with Asuka leads to the point that we're kind of all expecting with her turning on Asuka.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's gonna be a huge moment for her. I hope we get there because like at this point they are kind of like doing that thing where it's just like, all right, they're heel now, and then they barely show them on TV, and then when they are, they're kind of losing, even though they're champions. But yeah, it gets into the whole like rabbit hole that they used to do with some of these stars and all that. So I just hope for the best for Kyrie because again, she's really good. Had a really good match tonight with EO. Um, yeah, and that eventual snap on Asuka is going to hit hard. So I just want the best for them, and hopefully we do get the best for them. But yeah, they didn't do too much on Raw when it comes to these two teams, at least building up for whatever match we end up getting whenever we get it. I would assume because they are trying to like boost these first Raw and SmackDowns of the new year.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be on one of those shows we get like this multi-team match with hopefully with a stipulation, either a ladder match, that gauntlet match that Drop mentioned. See, you mentioned that, and now I kind of want that.
Yeah.
like,
Got to do
um,
something. You got to
oh
spice it up. We can't have a regular match.
yeah, nah. Kind of this, kind of very similar to us getting Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre again. You can't just have a normal match now, guys.
Mm-mm.
You got to add a stip now, and I mean, Drew kind of should win, but that that's a Friday conversation. We're here on Monday. We're not here to talk about Friday things. Anything else you wanted to add when it comes to these two teams?
All I'm gonna say right here is keep supporting them because they're great women's wrestlers.
Hmm.
You need
Yeah.
to support the people that make me excited to watch them on screen. Because whenever I see EO Sky match, I'm locked in. Whenever I see Kairi Zane getting her reps, I get locked in. So all in all, I'm just hoping that 2026 has some solid plans to them. Not necessarily people we know that have plans, because I'm not really worried about an
Hmm.
EO or Rhea anymore. Mainly the ones that
Yeah.
really need it, like Roxanne especially, and EO, not EO, Kairi Zane.
Hmm. Yep. So, sticking with tag team wrestling, we had the world tag team titles on the line. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defending against the War Raiders. Pretty good match. AJ and Dragon Lee are getting really good with their double team offense and actually being a team. So it's good to see that okay, we're kind of going the bar route when it comes to these two. They just need a name by now, but cool, fine, whatever. War Raiders though, finally they're on TV and finally getting like some sort of match to showcase how good they are because they are really good. Now, I say all this because there were some good double team maneuvers going on. Like the one I immediately think of is that power slam, like that caught power
Oh,
slam to
yes.
the outside of the ring on the Dragon Lee. Like that was great. How Eric just like caught Dragon Lee and just yeeted him over to where Ivar was, and he just bam slam Dragon Lee down to the ground. But there were a couple botches that I'm sure people have already shared online with Dragon Lee trying to lift Ivar and struggling very much doing that. I mean, botches are botches. Some days you're good, some days you're not. It's fine. It's all good. It happens to all of us. But Of course, we've got AJ Styles in this. He pulls out the win, hitting a nice, phenomenal forearm on Ivar, picking up the 1, 2, 3 against the War Raiders. Now, throughout this match, we had the New Day actually out there watching, and I am glad the New Day didn't interfere. That would have been kind of cheesy and kind of lame, at least on
Mm.
my end. So at least they didn't do anything during the match. But after the match, they went to the ring. They were going to let their intentions be known, and everyone's interrupted by the Usos coming out through the crowd, doing the Yeet concert. Um, Kind of felt longer than usual this week, but I think that's just because I am starting to get tired of the Yeet concerts. But that's fine, cool, whatever. But the Usos are basically back in the tag division, so interesting little turn of events. I don't personally think it's gonna last too long, especially after Jimmy's promo tonight, where he's just like, yeah, after L that Jay took. Like the fact he mentioned Jay in taking L's, it's just like, dude, you're just asking for the heel turn right now. You're just asking to get your teeth knocked in. But yeah, so basically with this segment, we get the tease of the Usos going for the tag titles, but this was also confirmed, I think, during those commercial break ads they do for overseas on Netflix. It's official that we're getting the New Day versus the Usos next week. So hopefully, now I'm just gonna throw this out there. Make this the main event, give them like 30 minutes, because the New Day and the Usos can put on a barn burner, and you want to end the year off strong, especially when it comes to your burgeoning tag division.
Yep.
Have the Usos and New Day go out there, have them pull out a heated match, and we'll be all set. We'll be all good. Drop, what do you think of this segment? What do you think of Jay entering the tag team division now? The match that we had for the world titles, and just the future that we have for the Raw tag division.
So I really like the direction that we're going with the tag titles on Monday Night Raw, because it was something I
Mhm.
noticed last week when AJ was in the back talking about, oh, we haven't really seen the War Raiders. Where have they been? So when I heard that, I'm like, okay, we're giving people opportunities. They don't necessarily get opportunities all the time. They were able to put on a good match tonight. Now we have, New Day getting involved, and we have the Usos going back into the tag division, which I really like because that's where they truly
Mhm.
shine. Like, don't get me wrong, they had their moments where Jay was able to win the Rumble and he was able to win his first world title at WrestleMania when he beat Gunther. But this is where they truly shined when it comes to a lot of the things that I remember seeing from the Usos, not just growing up, but just the
Mhm.
matches that I remembered as of recent, especially when it comes to the match that they had with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 39. Like, that was a legendary main event. I'll just come out there and say it. Like, that was
Yeah.
really awesome to see, like, the length that they were going to put on such a historic match there. And I just like them in the tag division. I just always look
Mhm.
forward to their matches. They work very well when it comes to the tag matches that they have with whatever opponent. And if they are going up against New Day, which is a legendary feud between them, because I mean, the New Day used to have the tag titles for the longest, but the Usos ended up beating that record. So that's kind of a thing that they could really throw in there to really spice up
Mhm.
their match next week if the Usos want to spit some venom at them. But I mean, those two teams are really familiar with one another. So I'm really looking forward to the match. And I also wouldn't mind if it's a main event. Will it be the main event? We don't know. Probably not. But it would be preferable only because it gives us something a little bit
Mhm.
different outside of the vision every single Monday. But we
Mhm.
understand that they're obviously a focal point on Raw, so obviously you're gonna see them on there. But it's like at the same
Yeah.
time, I mean, you could easily just slot this in and I wouldn't have any issues with it at all whatsoever. Like, I actually am glad that the Usos are back in the tag division, even if it's like maybe temporarily. I'm just glad to
Mhm.
see him there because I miss really seeing them there.
Yeah, and I really hope, like, I hope this kind of lights a fire underneath the New Day heel turn right now,
Yeah.
because so we're getting this different dynamic now between the New Day and the Usos, because alliances switch and all that. But and especially when you kind of look at kayfabe as well, New Day've been kind of getting complacent with themselves.
Yeah.
They keep complaining, again, it's all part of the heel act, obviously, but like, and this is mainly the conversation in terms of kayfabe. So it's just like, okay, they're just kind of content with just being these, I don't want to necessarily say lazy bums, but these guys that just like, they want to be handed everything. They want to be awarded anything for not doing anything, because yeah, when they held the tag titles, they barely defended it as well, just like the Judgment Day. But okay, fine, we're gonna switch the titles. All right. So this could be a good way for them to kind of maybe reignite themselves, in both in kayfabe and outside, because you can definitely tell some of the frustration that comes through the New Day in their performances, and of course, whatever they say online and all that. So there is some frustration behind them. So maybe this could help, like, light some fire under people and be like, okay, you know what? That's right. We do have a good tag division. We have amazing tag teams. We should be utilizing them more than we do and actually trying with some of them, you know? So that's all I can hope for with this. That's why part of me wants it to be the main event, because it would be a great opportunity for them to really just showcase once again how good tag team wrestling in WWE can be. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be great. Um, and also just the idea of Dragon Lee and AJ Styles against the Usos. That's also very tantalizing as
Oh,
well.
heck yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean both teams are great. But Dragon Lee, AJ Styles still need to be more of a team. Again, guys, come up with a name at least. That'd be great. I don't know. Any names pop into your mind that they could be called?
No, like I don't even want to think on the spot because I'm just gonna embarrass myself. So I don't really know.
Uh,
I mean, one of the names they could have
ah,
done, unfortunately, they can't because his wife just
yeah.
returned. So you don't really want to get people
Mhm.
confused with that. So I don't really know.
Yeah. The phenomenal dragons. I don't know.
That's what
Something simple
I
like
was
that.
thinking of that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, would they really do something that simple?
Yeah.
Like throw that in there just to have some sort of name? I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Almost as
Who knows?
questionable
Who
as
knows?
seeing a certain vignette all the time when we could have solved a certain person's match.
Yeah. Yeah. It would have been. Huh. Well, this is a great transition into our quick fire segments. We only have one this week. Thank God. But so basically, we get another promo segment, or excuse me, another vignette of Maxine Dupree training with Natty in the dungeon. And this one's a little different than last week, because like last week ended with like Maxine basically getting her ass kicked, and then Natty being the one being like, again, again, again. This time it's Maxine being like, again, 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 because she keeps beating up all the people that Natty throws at her until the end, when Natty's just like, okay, now it's my turn. And they have a brawl, good old grappling fight. Maxine comes out on top. She stands up. She's just like, again. And it's like, I see what they're doing with this. Again, my complaint with it is kind of the same as it was before. I wish we got this with the lead up to Maxine winning the title. I think that would have been a little bit more effective, but
I agree.
that's yeah, that's it is what it is at this point, I guess. But I don't know. Like my other complaint though, I am not a fan of this one, only because I didn't like the editing, mainly because I don't like a lot of modern action movies, because the camera is just moving everywhere,
Yeah, Kevin Dunn.
and it eventually, yeah, it eventually like makes me dizzy to the point where it's just like, I don't know what's going on. I just want to go to the toilet right now and just spew all my chunks and all that. Like, I was not a fan of it. So that was probably my nitpick this week. But drop any thoughts on this? When do you think we're gonna get Maxine back on Raw? Because she's been gone for a few weeks after winning that title.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
like
it's great.
the funny thing about this is like they're showing us these vignettes of her training. They could have
Mhm,
easily structured this where after she had that first match with Becky, and then she was talking to Adam Pearce in the back saying, I need to give myself some time and everything before, I get a shot at the title again and do what
mhm,
I need to do. They could have inserted this right here for like those how many amount of weeks I wanted to plan before she eventually came back and challenged for the title and beat Becky.
mhm,
They could have gave us this to see like, okay, she said she's going away. We see one vignette this week. We see one vignette the following week. Maybe we get one final one, and then she returns. They could have easily structured it like that, and they could have had her won the title, and then yeah, because this was my main issue with Maxine winning the title, and I'll give it
mhm.
a little bit longer. Not much longer, but a little bit longer. When I say that, maybe about like towards the end of the year to at least get some sort of idea as to what the
Mhm.
next direction is. Because my biggest gripe with this, and I had a feeling this is what it was going to be, but I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt because they did something different this time. They actually crowned somebody that actually deserved it by,
Yeah.
really working to get where she needs to be. I was really hoping this wasn't just going to be a moment, and it's really feeling like it was just a moment and that's all it's going to be, and then whoever she goes up against next, she's just, let's say she'll probably win like the match that she has with Ivy now. That probably eventually happen or
Yeah.
whatever. As much as I don't really care to see it, probably eventually will happen. But then, she'll eventually have that match with whoever after that, and then she'll end up losing the title, and then we'll just completely forget about what happened with that. Like,
Yeah.
that's another thing. It's like you saw Roxanne talking to her in the back. You had this whole thing with the Judgment Day about collecting all the titles. I don't see why the women's IC title isn't on the radar at all whatsoever. Like, it's
Yeah.
not just
Like,
a
why has
women's.
that not been like clocked in the mind? Like, why
Yeah,
why are none of you going after that or have tried
yeah,
to go after it
yeah. Because
more?
it's like you could have had. I'm just gonna continue to say it. I mean, it is what it is now.
Yeah.
But you could have easily had Liv go after the world title. You could have had Roxanne and Raquel go after the tag title, and you could have had Roxanne as well. Because I'll throw her a bone. You could have had her go
Yeah.
after the women's IC title as well. I don't see anything wrong with that. But it's like, because then you could have tease that whole double champion thing, and then maybe someone's jealous, whatever the case
Hmm.
may be. But she definitely needs to like head in that direction, like going after the women's IC title, especially Roxanne out of all people. So it's like I
Yeah.
don't really know what we're doing with this. Like I said, I'll give it towards the end of the year, but I'm just gonna call it a moment. I mean, it already is a moment to me
Hmm.
right now, but it's gonna become more of a moment once she's just not coming back.
Yeah. And well, like that's the thing too, because like part of this too is like, okay, when we get the Ivy Nile match, which I'm assuming is gonna be her first defense,
Yeah,
I feel like that's gonna be the match to like introduce this new version of Maxine
yeah,
and solidify that character. And I think around that time is probably when Becky's going to come back because, right now she's protesting Raw because she feels like she was cheated from the IC title. So I actually like that little bit of storytelling right there. But she'll probably come back wanting to face this Maxine, and that's going to be the tell right there. It's like, okay, are we going to have Maxine actually, win this match without any interference slash help to beat Becky? If she can pull that off, then you know what? Great. That was not a moment. But if Becky does end up beating Maxine in that rematch, then it was a moment for me because it was just a moment for Maxine to be crowned and to kind of show that she has like in kayfabe shown that she's been working her ass off because we know as an audience we know she's been working hard and all that, but for the character herself we got to establish all that, and that'll come with at least one title defense. Ivy Nile is a good person to just have that title defense, because I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the way they utilize Ivy Nile, she's not winning any titles anytime soon unless it's a fluke or something. And I feel bad saying that, but just calling a spade right now.
Yeah.
So that's basically my timeline, and that could stretch to like maybe like the first Raw of the new year.
Yeah.
But again, it's what happens with that Becky rematch that's really gonna tell me where we're at with this.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Yeah. But since that was our only quickfire segment, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've reached our final thoughts, our outro, and all that. We can talk about the end of the show and all that. And you know what? Talking through the show a little bit, it was fine. It was a fine show. It was an all right show. We had some good storyline seeds being planted here. Like Johnny Appleseed and all that. As some things moving forward. Again with these tag title divisions, and especially with Braun Breaker going for the world title. Again, great promo right there from you. Gunther again also having a great promo to lead to his match with John Cena. But again, some of the issues, some of the placing of certain what is it, like segments, matches, and all that, especially with like the main event part, kind of didn't really hit too well with us. And of course, just the usual question of what are we doing with some of these people? Like, what are we doing with LA Knight? And if you missed that rant, sorry, but you'll have to go to the time codes to check that out. But again, it was a fine episode of Raw. Was it good? Was it bad? I mean, definitely wasn't really good. I wouldn't say it was a bad show, but it was fine. But what did you think of Raw tonight?
So I thought Raw was all right tonight. Like you saw earlier in the beginning of the show, I had to go on a little rant because it's something I've been keeping in for a bit. And I was just waiting for the time to really come out and express myself. And I felt like this was the time because, I mean, we talked about it on Friday. This was our biggest fear. Look what happened tonight. So I had to turn into a volcano and erupt for, a good bit to just express how I feel because I didn't want to hold that in much longer. But outside of that thing that
Mhm.
I talked about, I mean, Braun had a good promo tonight, so I'm happy about that. Hopefully, we find out when CM Punk is coming back so we can see exactly what he says towards Braun. Please don't hold back on him, which I'm hoping what Braun was doing in that promo. I'm really hoping that we do see that vicious side of Punk. So
Mhm.
you could, I mean, hey, it's needed because you really want to build this guy. Give him a vicious Punk, see if he can go toe to toe.
Yep.
All we gotta wait and see how that turns out. And Gunther's getting Cena. We'll see if there's anything on SmackDown that we find out before that match itself. Other than that, I mean, hey, that's all we really see towards that match. And we just see more tension than Judgment Day. And it actually seems like there's some proper footing with it at the very least now,
Mhm.
with Liv Morgan just, I guess, putting on a show now to just make everybody happy, which deep down inside she really was not happy about Raquel going after that title.
No, she
And
was not.
yeah, I mean that was Raw. That was Raw. I'll just give us that gauntlet match. Honestly, I think I want that gauntlet match more than anything. Honestly, now that
Yeah,
we talked about it,
now that we both kind of said our piece with it, I'm like, oh wait, that would actually kind of slap. Like that would be really good. That kick harder than one of Oscar's roundhouse kicks. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to some things. Some things I'm very questioning and all that. But let us know in the chat. Let us know down in the comments if you're listening or watching this after the fact. Obviously, you are because you're from the future. We're in the present and also the past. But that's besides the point. We've reached the end of our show, unfortunately. So we're going to have to do our nice little outro. But of course, if you want to follow us on social media to talk to us more about wrestling or anime, manga, and all that stuff, we have some nice links in the description below. Check those out. And of course, you can see all of our handles on the screen. You've got at Animal We Studio, that is the parent company. You got at Weebs of the Ring. You've got at Drop This Box, Watkins MW, Legend Vash, who unfortunately is still helping The Rock polish his baldy bald head. And of course, use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring to interact with us before, during, or after these shows. So that way you can be part of the conversation. You can also give us some feedback, because we're nothing without you guys tuning into the show, and we're going to continue to make every show better than the one before it. So once again, just going to thank you guys so much for checking out Weebs of the Ring and checking out the podcast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button, all that stuff. That's all the stuff that YouTube loves to hear in our videos, to make sure that you're tuning in to our content and checking us out and giving us the fair shot and all that. So thank you as always for everything that you guys do, because we've been getting some really good growth lately. So just, I very much appreciate it. I love to see it. But again, we're going to say goodnight and give us a nice little fun outro, because Weebs of the Ring is presented by Anima We Studio. Thanks, of course, to our production team for all of their hard work to make this show a reality. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown.
See you guys, and have a good one.